I need to start getting a little more into Spanish cinema because it seems filmmakers from over there are making the best thrillers, hands down. First we had Killing Words and now this. Before I get into the actual review here, there are a couple things I need to get out of the way. First of all, this came recommended to me by one of my subscribers, the same guy who recommended Killing Words a while back. It's yet another film which I would never have heard of without his recommendation, so once again, thank you. And if anyone else out there has a good movie to recommend for review, feel free to let me know what it is. Also, if you're interested in seeing this movie, I did find a website where you can watch it, which I'm going to put a link to in the description of this video. I'm not being sponsored by it, which is why I'm not naming what the website is. Also, the reason I bring this up is because I looked the film up on Amazon, and if you're a resident of the United States, then you're probably not going to be able to find a copy of this movie that works in your player. Fortunately, I have a region-free player, and I was able to get it imported from the UK, but for those of you who don't have that luxury, again, there's going to be a link in the description. And finally, in case you hadn't guessed from watching the intro to this video, The Body is a Spanish language film with subtitles, so if you don't like having to read subtitles and you don't know the Spanish language, then you might not care for this movie. Anyway, without any further BS, El Cuerpo is a neo-noir thriller in which the body of a recently deceased woman has been stolen from the morgue. Her husband is strongly suspected of the crime, but he insists that he's innocent and that there's an entirely different game at play. Holy shit, this movie was awesome. Really, I don't think I sold it well enough at the beginning. Throughout the running time, there were moments where I sincerely thought that I knew what was going on in the film, and once I thought that I had it figured out, the story would suddenly take a turn that just shattered my expectations. If you can figure out the twist ending to this movie without cheating, then you're probably still cheating. If not, then I would like to know the secrets to your wisdom. I love it when a good thriller comes around that teases my brain like that too. And the two main characters of this movie, the husband and the detective who's working on this case, both have very valid theories as to what's going on. It's easy to imagine either one of these men being right. The characters in this movie are excellently written too. The husband has his own skeletons in the closet, which add on to his current dilemma, but even more interesting is the character of the detective. This man has a very tragic backstory, which could have very easily just made him a cliched character and had no bearing on the plot, but in the way that the film is written, it actually adds a lot of motivation to his character and, gives him more of a reason to bust this man for what he may have done. By the way, if you're a fan of The Orphanage, a very well done Spanish ghost story, then you might like to know that the deceased wife in this movie, who shows up in a few flashback scenes, is played by the star of that film, and this is a far cry from her character in that movie. I thought she was really interesting in this. Anyway, there really isn't much else for me to say about The Body, aka El Cuerpo, without spoiling anything. If the link in the description works for you, or if you can find any other way to watch this movie, then it should be at the top of your watch list. Tener una buena.